Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Starting From Scratch. Now I apologize for no video yesterday, but I was down in London playing from Need for Speed, and I managed to get some cool gameplay of all that. But we're back here and we're ready, and I come up against this team full of people from Ivory Coast. You got like Dumbia, Kone, you got Gervinho there, and I think he was playing a 3-5-2, and you know, this team is just, it's gonna be deadly, isn't it? Just the pace in this team, the fact they had some absolutely quality players in there, but they were up against my almighty non-rare Spanish side, and you guys know how much I love this side. They're just so good. They just feel very fluid more than anything, but a great through ball there, and an absolute failure of a tramp, and even more of a failure off the post, but he picks out a player at the back post and nods it into the back of the net, and Nolito, my 500 coin Ronaldo, does a fantastic job there. So with that being said, you know, that was a bit of a win-fail situation. I failed the tramp, I then failed the rebound, but then I managed to put it into the back of the net. So my center attacking mid, Sergio Canales, seems to be getting a lot more goals than anyone else in the team for whatever reason, but Rodrigo, the 4-star skiller from Benfica, rockets one into the back of the net. A little later on into the game, there was a penalty given to myself, and, you know, I did decide that Rodrigo would be the man to step up and take this, and he finishes it straight down the middle and just above the keeper's head, where pretty much almost all penalties will go in. That's just a little tip for you all, I suppose, is if you hold up on the left stick, is it, or whichever one you aim with the penalty with, just hold it up just a little bit, just a tad, then you manage to get a goal. But this guy went AFK. He was actually not fully AFK. He decided, you know, he was 4-0 down, so he just hold it round the back, but I caught him off guard. He clearly decided to itch his balls or something, and I decided it was necessary just to punish him. And Adrian, with a 9.7 rating, did a fantastic job in that game, and that was a 5-0 victory there. Very good for the squad. I'm pretty sure that's us won the title of that. I don't count me on it, but I'm pretty sure we're now into Division 3, I think. But we come up against this side here, a French league side. Got some quality players in this team. My 500 coin Ronaldo plays a fantastic through ball to Adrian, and Adrian kind of just dances a little bit around him, gets unlucky with the shot, but manages it to put it back into the back of the net, and that was pretty lucky actually. I managed to get some lucky goals, but I was also slightly unlucky with the amount of times I hit the post, but he plays a really good ball through, and Menez, who was a monster in FIFA 12, comes back to haunt me in FIFA 13, and that was the first goal that Menez has scored against me, and my god, if I build a League 1 side, he will most certainly feature in it. But a fantastic effort there, and the keeper makes another good save, but Rodrigo's there to finish it up, clean up with the scraps, and manages to put it so it's 2-1 up. And, you know, this team was always looking deadly. Menez is always a threat to me, but a through ball, over the top through ball, which I might add is very powerful in this game. And how about that for a strike from Adrian? That is just unbelievable, seriously. To score across the face of the keeper like that, so close and just at that sort of angle, was really nice. But another over-the-top through ball, and Rodrigo is going to put that in the back of the net all day, every day. And, you know, over-the-top through balls just seem so easy to do if the opponent's defending isn't that good. So if you notice your opposition really isn't that good at defending, then what I recommend is using that over-the-top through ball. But I posted on on Facebook, what team would you guys like to see next? And the majority was a Premier League side, so that's exactly what I decided to go ahead and make. As you guys can see, I had 21,000 coins to spend, so this was going to be a 21,000, or actually, I believe it ends up being around 15k Premier League side, but my god, the BPL this year is just incredible, seriously. The players are just so, like, their overalls are so low, yet when you play them in game, they feel so much better than what their actual rating says. But I decided to go for Trapped in a 3-5-2 formation at center attacking mid. I decided also to go for Asaidi as a left mid. Unfortunately, there were no left mid there were no left mid versions of him in the 3-5-2 formation, which is kind of expected because he is naturally a left winger. So I had to pick him up in a left wing position and put him at the left mid position. But hopefully, if I have enough coins, I will swap that down to a left midfield, and that will all be fine and dandy. But you know, I was trying to do some trading there with Kaka, as you guys could see, but I managed to get Cisse, Gibril Cisse, who is just an animal in this game. One thing that I've learnt with playing with him is just shoot. seriously, guys, just take a shot and you will be a happy guy, because his shots seem to go in from all over the place. But I managed to pick him up in a 3-5-2 formation. One of the things I recommend is if you don't have a lot of coins and you're really building to budget, then one of the things you have to do 100% is buy players in your formation. Do not buy them out of formation. I was very reluctant to buy that Asaidi in a left wing position because I knew I had to pay extra money to move him down to a left mid. But I get the other centre back, Dejuro. I was also looking at picking up an Mbia. Mbia and Dejuro, both very good centre backs. Both got a lot of pace on them, are very strong, and in the air are genuinely quite dominant. So that's why I try to pick up both of those players. They did look really good, and definitely players I was excited to use. The centre defensive midfield position was one that I was kind of a bit iffy about. I didn't know who to go with. I had Xavi Garcia in one of my crazy Spanish teams, with loads of really good players in there, and he did a fantastic job. I know some people are a little bit skeptical of him. They don't know if they like him or not, whether he's good enough, but for me, he's been really good. So it's really come to the fact that it's definitely down to personal preference when it comes to Garcia, because for me he's been really good, but I know a couple of other YouTubers who have really struggled to use him. But my center backs are all looking really good. I actually tried to trade with David Luiz. You guys have seen that previously, and it didn't. David Luiz has dropped dramatically in price recently, and it ended up that I came back a few days later and his price had dropped. So if I was gonna sell him, I was gonna make like 100 coin loss. So I was like, there's no point in me selling him. So I just decided to keep David Luiz, and as you guys can see, my 3 center backs there were looking pretty deadly. I also picked up Julio Cesar, who has been downgraded since moving from Inter, and he's at QPR now, but his stats looked really good. There's a few other cheap goalkeepers that look pretty good out there, Vorm, Krul, all them. But I went on a website called foothead.com, which I always use to make squads before I actually build them on the Xbox, because you don't actually have to use coins. And as you guys can see, the average pace of the squad was 80. You guys can see all the averages there. The total price of it says 40k, but I managed to pick them up for about 20k, and that was all due to me just picking them up for decent prices. Morales, there's the other striker to accompany Cisse. He's going to be brilliant. To wrap there, 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot, and you guys can see their average prices there as well on top of it. It's just foothead.com, so futhead.com. As you guys can see, 5-star skills with Asaidi and 4-star weak foot. That was always going to be deadly. You also got the likes of David Luiz there, who is going to be really good. He's also got 3-star skills. And Bia, who's definitely the bulkiest of them all, I decided to put him at center back in the middle between the 3 of them. Also Dejuro at the right center back position. But they all looked really fantastic, and this website just helps me out as far as judging how much a team is going to be. It looks there and it said 40k, but you have to remember some people pay way too much for prices, and these are just the average prices of each player. So with that in mind, I decided to build this team, and it was really good. And you guys will have to wait to next episode to see me play with it and see what goes down. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode. If you have, then be sure to drop a like, and I'll be uploading a career mode video as soon as this hits like 2,000 to 2,500 likes or whatever. But hope you've had a cracking day. I certainly have. I'm absolutely shattered after getting off the plane. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Staring at a blank canvas, behind closed doors, no cameras. I gotta get my head down, move forward and never look backwards. Looking at the time, and clearly, that time is nearly here.